My name is Shane Vang. I'm here in Hugo. I'm the owner or the handler here, manager here at Minnesota Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got started with the One Loft. It was kind of an idea, between me and a couple of friends, my cousin Blong and Tony. Everybody knows Tony from Pigeons Central.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We kicked about the idea a couple of years ago. We just never really thought about doing it. It was just, an idea that came up and we thought about it. But I decided to do it because, was kind of like tired of doing the restaurants
Yeah.
and just working my full-time job. And, if I got the pigeons and I'm gonna do something I love, I said, I might as well just turn the idea into something that I want to do, right? Because
Yeah.
it's kind of like your passion, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So you only live once, you just gotta do something that, you know, and try it out, you know what I mean? So you'll never know what happens if you don't try it. So
Okay.
that's the big reason behind it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, what kind of birds do good here, in your court?
Um,
What kind of size, tough, speed?
yeah, I think here in Minnesota, there's so many guys with so many good birds, so many good strains.
Yeah.
Obviously here I can't speak for everyone, but I seen the Figos do here, good here. The club guys, a whole bunch of us got the Figo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah Melko's birds, they do good here. Um, I'm just looking at, young birds, right? I'm not talking about old birds or anything, just young bird wise. I
Yeah.
I did pretty good with the Leo Herman stuff here.
Okay.
Because believe it or not, our course here is predominantly like a south southwest wind.
Yeah.
So it is a faster course, so we're hitting, we can hit high teens, and then, there's some races where we'll, be in the, 11, 12 too.
Mm-hmm.
But predominantly it's a south southwest wind, and we fly from the south. So, yeah, there's a lot of good birds here. A lot of good strains nowadays. Everybody's got good birds, so kind of just pick your poison and see what you like and try it out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can you show us the process when the birds arrive here? What do you do with them?
Oh, well, I can show you, but since we're in the loft now, because normally in the intake, I take them to the pole building,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I register the numbers, and then I'll vaccinate them there, and then I'll input into Wing Companion, and then into Pydex and benzene, right? But I did have a quarantine loft. I did build a quarantine loft, and I used that for the first group of birds.
Uh-huh.
Um, they were there for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I brought it into this loft, into the
Mm-hmm.
race loft. And then I had two rooms in here for them, but I kind of felt the need not to have that extra loft just to put them over there and
Yeah.
bring it, shuffle them back and forth. I think it was more or less a time consuming thing. I could have used one end of the loft, and then the next group I could use the other end of the loft,
Yeah.
and that way I don't have to have use that quarantine loft. But I mean, either way it could work fine, but it was just easier for me because of just grabbing all the birds again and selling here into this loft, and letting them go through that stress process again, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I kind of just do that. So, but yeah, they get when they get here, they'll get a shot of the PMB rota is what I use,
Uh-huh.
and then I give them a kinker pill,
Mm-hmm.
and I just go through the registration for the birds and whatnot. So.
Okay, so once they're done with that, where do you put them in like one of these sections?
Yeah, I'll start like, you know, this year I started with this room right here,
Uh-huh.
this one in front of us. This,
Mm-hmm.
I'll have maybe 20 young birds in here, right?
Okay.
And then I'll move on down once birds starts coming in more. I'll move on down, and then if I get a period where I don't get, if I might run to a period where it's like a week or two I don't get any more birds,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get another bigger group, then I'll start at the other end of the loft.
Okay.
So they're not like next to each other, but it's in the
Yeah.
same loft, but it's on the other end, and that way I can kind of control that. Okay, this is group one and group two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of once they get to that quarantine process, then I can kind of push them closer together, and then eventually just put them in the same room. So
Okay. So when they arrive here and you put them in the sections, do you treat them for anything?
for the first week I don't. because that PNV rotor shot,
Yeah.
it, I seen birds where I give them that shot and they're down for like 2 days. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
they're puffed up and they're just, I mean, it's a virus, right? So their immune system is kicking in. So for the first week, I don't um, treat them for anything, but I do give them a lot of probiotics, and some products from Avo Biotech because they are my sponsors, and I'm using.
Uh-huh.
It's called a Rotostop powder, and I really like it. It's more of a natural, natural substance to kind of help with immunity and
Mm-hmm.
with the cerebral virus, adeno, or Youngberg disease, whatever you call it, right? So it's
Okay.
just natural product. So I'll give that for a week with good probiotics in the in the feed or in the water. I mean, just kind of help them build back up and get them bounce back, and then after that first week, and then I'll start my treatment
Okay. So
process.
they'll be on that for a week.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much for a whole week. Yep, just
Okay.
probiotics and immunity. Just it.
Uh-huh.
What I mean, for a whole week.
And
Yep.
then after that, you start another treatment.
Yeah. Well, that's not even treatment. That's just to make them bounce back. But after that first week,
Yeah.
and then the beginning, after say the second week, I don't do anything
Yeah.
except for the last 3 days of say a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, don't quote me because I got the schedule in there, but all of it's on AVO Biotech. But the last 3 days of the second week, then I'll start to treat for like, the canker,
Uh-huh.
what I mean? So give them
Your
like 3 days of canker.
respiratory and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Respiratory I don't do yet because,
Hmm.
they're just, they're sitting, they're not flying yet. So I
Yeah.
don't do any of the respiratory, but I do more of the canker, the coccidiosis. That's
Uh-huh.
really important because I think the more birds you get, that cocci count gets higher.
Yeah.
So I do the cocci and the canker pretty much the second week of intake. And then the third week, I'll let them take a break, right? Put it
Uh-huh.
back,
Yep.
the probiotics in there, and get the vitamins back in there. You know what I mean? So I don't want to keep dosing them week after week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I don't need to, yeah. And then the third week, just back to vitamins, probiotic, and then the fourth week and so on. They don't do much, no treatment. Just clean water or apple cider vinegar. Just keep everything clean for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sixth week, I will start them to, I think I do like 3 days of the perityphoid,
Okay.
yeah, on the sixth week. And then I just do that for like a couple of days. And then after that, I'm kind of done with the treatment, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So,
So do you deworm them?
yes, oh yeah, that's true. The deworm tablet is on the second week when I'm doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
I
end of
see.
that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there's
Okay.
2 days where I do it's a coxi pill with the dewormer. It's
Oh,
two in
okay.
one. And I do that for 2 days.
That's
And then,
cool.
yep, they get that for 2 days on a Saturday and Sunday, and that's it. I mean,
Okay. I
yep.
see.
But I haven't had any, issue with worms. So, but it's part of the program that I'm following from you.
What's the average amount of birds do you get per week or month?
Oh, it's tough at the beginning. I get
Yeah.
spurts, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not a big one loft.
Yeah. It's still pretty new
Yeah,
into this.
I'm new to the game, so there's weeks I'll get 30 birds, and the next week I might just get 7, 8 birds, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, no, that's why it's so hard for me to, that's the hard part for me here is grouping them, right? Because I
Yeah.
can't group them, with just 7 birds taking up one big room, right? So I
Yeah.
gotta, slowly take my time to observe them and not start treatment until I get another,
Yeah.
group in here to fill
Yeah.
up the room and then start treating them, right? So, um, I've got weeks where I'll get like 30, 40. So it's not big compared
Hmm.
to those other, big one loft things, but that's big for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So once pre-training starts, right? What do you how do you push them out to the aviary, or do you just let them learn how to go out
Yeah, I mean,
themselves?
I think the first week they don't go out much at all. The first week they stay in the rooms. I call them. I only feed once a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just whistle every time I feed them, so they just get their routine like everybody does, right?
Yep.
As long as they start knowing that command, then I'll start opening the loft here
Mm-hmm.
and just let them. I don't push them out. I just let them just
Mm-hmm.
open up the aviary. They can just walk off on their own free will.
Yeah. Just let
Get
them
comfortable.
explore,
Yep, just let
explore
them get
out. Okay.
comfortable, and then you know the birds learn quick, you know,
Yeah.
2, 3 days of that, and they know how to go in and out, and that's when I start locking them out in the aviary. So,
Okay. When they go out in the
um,
aviary, when do you start? Like,
oh, and yeah, so you know they'll stay out in the aviary. You know, I'll let them do that for maybe a week or
uh-huh.
so. You know, as long as they're going out there, and then I call them in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they'll come in on their own. You know, I'm not forcing them, but
Yep.
once they know how to call and they're coming in, that's when I push them out into the net, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the faster, you know, some groups take longer, some
Mm-hmm.
birds they take longer. My
So,
first group was, you know, there was like 40 birds, 50 birds here. They learned real quick. You know, once they knew that, I pushed them out right in the net
okay.
right away, and then that's when I started to just get used to being out of the net. I'm not really trap training yet. I'm leaving the trap open, wide open, so they
Uh-huh.
can
Yeah.
walk in and out of the stalls.
Okay.
And then once they get comfortable with the stall part, and that's when I'll start. That's when you do the trap train. You know, drop the
Yeah.
bombs down or whatnot, close them outside. You know, keep them out there all day, and then call them in. You know, so
Okay. So it all depends if the birds are ready or they look ready to you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
start
because you
put them
can't.
out. Yeah.
Yep, yep. Because you can't really, you know, you can't really force things on them, right?
Yeah.
They're still learning. It's a new place for them, so you
Mm-hmm.
gotta just baby step and walk them through too. You
Okay.
know, so.
So once you start trap training them, you push them out to the outside to the netted area, right?
Yeah.
And then how long do you leave them out there for?
Man, well, you know, these guys has been out there since, you know, the early ones since you know, I started taking it in, so that's already the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've been there for a while. And I'll just every day, I'll just if it's nice out, I'll kick them out in the netting and then let them stay out there. So I haven't taken on the net yet,
Yeah.
and these guys has been here since day one.
Yeah.
So I just pulled their flights 2 days ago, I think. 2 days ago, or yesterday, I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
But I just pulled their flights, so they're just gonna be sitting in there for a while.
Okay.
So,
So when they're out in the netted area, how long do they stay in there though? Like an
oh
hour, two
no, they're
hours?
out there from. Man, I get out here at maybe 7:30, and then they're out there until like 3 o'clock.
Oh,
So
okay.
they stay out there
Yeah.
all day, pretty
So you
much.
get a
You
lot of
know.
time to look
Yeah,
around and
they
stuff
just
too.
let them explore, let them get used to the place, and just
Hmm.
get themselves familiarized with the loft and everything. Yeah, they come and eat. You know, get their the meal for the day. You know, they get to drink their water, and then they're once they go up on the perches, I just close the front of the rooms
Okay.
here, and then they're just in the loft all day after that, so they
Okay.
don't go back out. Once like if it's like say group one was in say room 2 or 3,
Yeah.
they're gonna stay in those rooms until the other groups are caught up to the program,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
To wherever sequence they were, and then they can go anywhere they want. Like right now, this whole flock here, these guys here, they can go anywhere they want in the
Yeah.
loft because they're all
Combined.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all combined, right? So
Yeah.
they can go anywhere they want now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
When you decide to let them out to fly, because I know that you just got started this year and you're
Yep.
working around things
Hmm.
and you're
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
what I'm doing, even with the one loft, you got to take your skill set from, what you know from club racing.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm doing the same thing. Once these guys, or the flights are, grown back in, because right now that, it's plucked obviously, but, once the flights are grown back in, as soon as that happens, which I'm hoping by end of May here, the net's going to come down, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm just going to let a small group go out at a time, say 50 birds first day,
Mm-hmm.
just to see how they respond. If they're, I mean, flying on the roofs, coming back down when I'm calling them. Okay, now I see that they're doing good. The next day, I'll throw another 30 birds out there.
Okay.
I'll do that until I get the whole flag out there, and then I feel more comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and then just let them, fly around and hop from building to building. I'm not gonna, try to push them to get up in the air for an
Yeah.
hour, so it's not time for that yet. Just getting used to the surrounding air and with the wing spread a little bit.
What do you think about older birds, or how do you deal with older birds?
Um, that's a tough one. I had some older birds. They'll learn. I mean, they'll all learn eventually, but
Yeah.
it's just going to be you got to take more time and be more patient.
Yeah.
So you got to have a lot of patience with older birds.
Mm-hmm.
Younger birds, they don't know much yet. You can get a little bit closer, and they're more timid.
Mm-hmm.
But older birds, they
Yeah.
know how to fly. Right? They're
Yeah.
gonna do what they want, and it's harder to call them in. But Not too young. I prefer older than a lot younger, right?
Yeah, okay,
Because
yeah.
a lot younger, when you got this many birds, it's so hard to spot. Okay, did he eat or did he,
Yeah.
take a drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
An older bird, they're older for a
Yeah,
reason.
you
They,
know.
they know how to eat and
Yeah.
drink already. So me, preferably, I'll take an old bird, but I don't mind the old birds because eventually they're gonna learn. Because
Okay.
pigeons are flock birds, and when 10 does it and that one don't do it, eventually tomorrow he's gonna know. If I want to eat, I gotta go away. If I want to drink, here's the time. So,
Okay. Explain to us how you built this loft and why you built it the way it is.
yeah, actually, I think the viewers can't see it, but
Uh-huh.
the first 30 feet of this loft was an existing building.
Uh-huh.
It was a lean-to for horses.
For horses.
It was just
Okay.
the roof and the three walls, the original owner had his horses in here, and then I added another 30 feet. Me and my dad added another 30 feet to it, and I
Uh-huh.
flew out of here for the club.
Yeah.
So the first half of my loft here was for young birds. So it was these first three rooms was
Uh-huh.
all young birds, but I had box purchase.
Uh-huh.
This
Yep.
V purchase was put in after the fact
Mm-hmm.
when I did the one loft. So these first three room was my young bird rooms.
Okay.
I raised anywhere from, I don't know, 90 to 120, 125 young birds in three sections
Mm-hmm.
comfortably, right? So
Yep.
it's not packed. And then these last three rooms was my old bird rooms.
Uh-huh.
This one was actually my wood hood hens.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the wood hood hen box with the front with the dowels closing in. And then these two rooms over here, I had the wood hood cocks and with the nest boxes. But I had tore that all down. This room here is built a little different from that side of the
Yep.
building. The end room here was my breeding section, but I had built a breeding loft, so I took all my breeders out of there, and that was pretty much just a empty room. I didn't have
Okay.
birds in there. I didn't race out of there, so I built it this way. I did have like the back end of my loft here was like a solid ceiling, and
Mm-hmm.
I had the sliding
Oh yeah.
panels up here and everything, and it worked good, but I think with doing the wall off, having that many bird in here, I think you need as much open air as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I took all
Yeah.
those panels down and I just screened everything, and there's this way. Everything from the dowel stuff. I built this way because I had built so many lofts in the past, and you're always upgrading, and
Mm-hmm.
doing better things, right? So even the floor grades here, I was working a lot. I didn't have time to clean a lot. It worked out for me. So, we're doing the one loft. I just decided to, utilize it too. I think it's, the young birds don't get the picking at their droppings and anything. I think it's a safer play for me.
Okay, yeah. I see that you have the lights on in here, so when the birds get here, do you leave the lights on for them?
Yeah, I am running the light system here.
Okay.
So they're on like 24 hours of light. But since yesterday, I got the lights off and they're on natural light already.
Oh, okay.
Since I pulled the flights, I want them to start molting their bodies and get through the molt. So they're off the 24 hours, but yeah, I'm running a 24-hour light here
Mm-hmm.
at with the one lot birds. I was doing more of the dark system when I did club racing,
Okay.
but the setup was different, right? I
Yeah.
could darken the loft, but now with all the open space and all the skylights and the bigger aviaries now, I can't darken the loft, so I opt to do the light system here
Okay.
for the one loft. So yeah,
Are they gonna stay on natural all the way to race day?
they're gonna stay at natural until not until like the final. I think they're gonna stay natural until they get all that molt, and then once they get to the race season starts,
Uh-huh.
and they'll go back. I'll give them more light after
Oh,
that.
okay.
I'll start going up to 16, 17 hours of light that
Okay.
to hold them up, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's the idea of just turn off the lights and leaving turn on the back on the lights. So once race season starts, yeah, they're gonna go back on the longer longer light, so they
Okay.
can just hold that mold.
Okay.
Ideally, I like to, first race is the weekend, what last weekend in August, right? So that's the
Mm-hmm.
first. I like to get at least a month,
A month.
yeah, have a month time to kind of start taking them down the road. But the bird's gonna tell me, like if
Yeah.
if I let them out and they're routing good,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna tell me, hey, if I see that they're routing good and they're going around the loft real good,
Mm-hmm.
it could be earlier than that, but the
Mm-hmm.
latest is at least a month before that, first
Okay.
race. But if they're flying around the loft pretty good, I'll take it slow and just take them short distance and work them a little slower. You know what I mean? So I don't
Okay.
have to. I don't want to rush them. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think if you rush them, you're just gonna run into trouble.
Yeah.
So hopefully everything goes good and they'll be ready for that 1 month. But at minimum, I like to get them at least a month before the first
Okay.
race and work them out.
So how do you train them on the road? Like how do you jump them and stuff like that?
I'll start. I'm gonna start basking them. I'm just gonna take. I'm on a 10-acre plot, so I'll bask. The first sauce is gonna be in my yard, right? I'm
Yep.
just gonna go down the
Uh-huh.
hill.
Yep.
They're probably, I don't know. You talking about 600 yards?
Mm-hmm.
Just let them go. Just get them used to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna do that a couple times so they can just not get too timid walking on the basket and taking off.
Okay.
Probably do that twice, and then my first like road toss is just on the other side of this. I don't know the tree lines here. I got a relative that owns a house over there, and he's got a big wide open field, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the birds there. Maybe once or twice. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
as long as the birds are coming on time, um, and I know they feel comfortable, I don't jump too fast. I'll go maybe a mile, then I'll go like,
Mm-hmm.
3 miles, and then I'll stay there for, I won't stay there like three, 4 times, but I'll stay there a couple of times. And, if I see
Mm-hmm.
they're doing good, then I'll slowly jump, but once I get to that 20-mile mark, then I'll start doing
Mm-hmm.
my 10 or 15 mile, increments,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I see.
And
So how far are you planning to train them out before you go to the
I've,
activation?
well, the activation is 125 miles. I might be right at the activation,
Okay.
but, I got somebody that I know down in Hayward. I think Hayward from here is probably 100 miles.
Okay.
So that's only 25 miles from the first station. So, they might be at 100 miles, once or twice before the first race,
Okay.
So, but, if you can get the birds at that 70 to 80-mile mark comfortably
Mm-hmm.
and they're coming good, then I think that's okay. But I might be at the 100 miles at least, So.
Okay. So all depends if they're showing you that they're ready, then
Yeah,
you,
yeah. If the process is
yep.
good, they're ready, and they're in good shape. Their health is good. You know, I, I'll be at the 100 miles. You know, what I mean, I'll go
Mm-hmm.
to the 100 miles before the first race.
Okay.
So
So when they come back from those training, those road tosses, do you give them anything when they return?
yeah, by that time, I am. Right now I'm feeling once a day. By that time, once they're loft flying good for an hour and all that, that's when I kind of, go to the feeding twice a day.
Feeding twice a day?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll give them one, let's say, 9 o'clock, and then one later at like say 5 o'clock or something, the feeding
Okay.
time. But yeah, they come home. They'll just get a light feed, not heavy. Just light feed, just a sport light. I get from Bayers. Give them, a ration of feed there, and just give them some clean water in the morning.
Okay.
So and then that night, then I'll start, with their meal at the supper meal, right? The bigger
Yeah.
meal at night. So
Okay.
yeah.
So when they come back from the road training, you don't give them anything in the water?
No,
Just fresh water?
yeah, just fresh water. I
Okay.
don't,
No electrolytes and stuff like that?
no, I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't do the electrolytes or anything. I just do fresh water. Um, not in the morning toss after that training toss.
Uh-huh.
I don't give much of that.
Uh-huh.
If anything, I'd rather do it at night because
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. That's just how I always did it for
Mm-hmm.
plug racing. So, I'm not gonna change. That I don't think that really matters. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, if when we come home. Train toss is just, fresh clean water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you put anything in their food too, like oil, powders?
Yeah, I'm a big, I don't know if it helps or not, but
Yeah.
with cloud racing, I did do a lot of that, using a lot of supplements in the feed and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like using, like the protein powders and the carbo powders, all that. I
Okay.
don't know if, with the one loft, it's different than club racing.
Yeah.
So, I have to play by ear and see, what I mean? So,
Okay.
um, yeah, but I do love putting stuff in the feed, what I mean?
Okay.
Like right now, I put like, they're still molting on, I put brews yeast, I
Okay.
put, even probiotics on their feed, what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I still do a lot of that stuff
Okay.
too. Yeah.
So, do you use oil in the feed?
Yeah, I use oil. I got this feather and new oil from Area Biotech.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can get that from Pigeons Plus as well from Dennis Kuhn.
Yep.
I put that on the feed, little oil, and then I'll sprinkle in like I said, the minerals or brews use or whatnot onto the
Okay.
feed too. Yeah.
So how often would you use your oil or powder?
Um.
Just depending on the
Yeah,
birds.
like when it's like right now when the weather is
Uh-huh.
it's really damp and
Yeah.
and all that, and they're molting too, obviously, but. That's when I like to get the best.
Okay.
I don't know if, like when it's really hot out, I don't like to, put all that stuff in the feed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do it when it's cooler, when it's damp. I don't know. I gotta like say, it's not club racing, so it's kind of like, okay, do I want to do what I did in club racing
Yeah.
with the birds, at the one off here? No, maybe not, but right now, when the weather's like this and they're molting a lot, I like to use all that products to kind of just get that new feather in, let them go through the molt, let them shine, and then so they're well taken care of.
Okay.
Yep.
So what kind of grit do you use for them?
Right now I'm using some grit. It's almost like Giovanni. I get it from Andy Walkfall in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty similar to Giovanni grit. It's
Okay.
got the pink minerals and all the things you need in the grit. I do have some Bayer's grit mix too that I'm
Okay.
using. So kind of both of those combined, just toss them together,
Okay.
and then that's what I use for the birds.
Once you start racing the birds when they come back, do you do anything with the water? Just plain water too?
Um, when they first come back, I don't on a short race I don't do much. Just
Mm-hmm.
get them fresh water. You know, um, I don't do much in the water as far as like the short races go. Once it gets longer, depending on the day,
Uh-huh. Yep.
I might put stuff in the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could be anything from electrolytes,
Yep.
what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to use electrolytes unless, what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Unless you need it.
yeah, it's like the short races, it's like a training toss. They come home. I just like to
Mm-hmm.
do just to treat them the same as they, did the 100-mile toss, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just clean water, what I mean?
Okay.
The feed is probably going to be the same as throughout the week. I don't fly a system where I build them up or down or
Okay. Yeah.
go
So you
from.
don't really change the feed. Just
No, I don't go light to heavy, heavy to light, or
yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
whatever it is. I just stick with one feed. If it's working, it's working. I don't want to
Okay.
tweak anything. And the birds will tell me, if they're feeling off, they're going light. Oh, and then I got to figure out what's wrong. But as far as the feed goes, it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
7 days a week.
That's
What I
good to
mean?
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So during this time when they're racing, right, they will mostly be done molting, would you think?
yeah.
Or there might be some later ones that
Yeah, I think the late hatches, well, not late hatch, but like the ones that I got in, some are, because they're a lot younger.
uh-huh.
Um, I think they will start dropping their flights, but I don't think I'm hoping they're not gonna reach the ninth and 10th. But what I mean? So, but they're at I think that's why, you know, one off races, when you send birds out, you got to look at their schedule. So, okay, when's the last day they race, and kind of work your ways backward. If you send a bird that's so young, so late, to a one loft, obviously it's going to be at, body wise. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about body wise or moat wise, you're going to be at a disadvantage versus a
Yeah.
guy that sent there earlier.
Yeah.
That he probably got all his flights, his molt out, all the bodies molt out. So, yeah, it should. Our race is gonna be. end of September, early October. So, um, hopefully these younger ones won't drop their, ninth and 10th,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the goal here, what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it gonna work when you start shipping them?
Yeah, shipping wise, I got a room over there where I'm gonna, room by room, I'll chase them down the hall
Uh-huh.
here.
Can we see it?
Yeah, it's kind of, well, it's not done,
Yeah.
but it's,
The process.
yeah, it's, once I chase them through this room here,
Oh, okay.
yeah, right now it's a mess, but it's done building, but I haven't really done anything yet. But
Yeah.
these two boards here
Uh-huh.
will come up, and then I got my crates that
Oh,
will sit on these two slots here,
yep.
and then I will just kind of,
Yeah, and then
chase them
you
into the
chase
crates.
them
Yep,
through this
yep,
pathway.
yep. Through this,
So,
the hall. It's not
yeah.
like the hallway within the rooms, right?
Yeah, so it comes through here, and they
Yep,
go through here,
yep.
and then you push them into the
Yeah,
crates.
push them into the crates, and then I'll just hand load them onto my trailer.
Okay, so what kind of crates are you using?
I'm using I bought a crate. I bought a trailer with 18 crates.
Uh-huh.
It could hold up to, geez, I bought 800 birds or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm using that. I bought it from, a guy down in Omaha, and I'm gonna use that for the first year. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have a chute just to chase the
Yeah.
birds in there, but I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not set up for that now, and I think I can do it. Loading it by crates at a
Yeah.
time. So I'm
Yeah.
not grabbing the birds. I don't want to. You don't want to stress the birds, and plus, I don't want to be grabbing 300 or so birds and
Yeah.
trying to, hand crate them. So
Yeah.
that's just too much work, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
So do you like the box purchase more or the V
Um.
purchase?
Yeah. For club wise, I like it a little bit better.
You like the box purchase better?
Yeah, just
Okay.
for club racing, but obviously, for one off, motivation is club racing is you want to get them motivated and or at least have a box, and that's what we think to
Yep.
beat the next guy in the club, right?
Yep.
But this is one off racing. No, yeah, it's ideal to have it, but I just like this better
Uh-huh.
for one off first,
Yeah.
so
And part of the V purchase are easier to clean too, maybe?
yeah, I just put a tub underneath all the perches here, and then I just take two scrapers and I just go down each flap on the, like the wings on the
Yep.
perch, and it takes me one room takes me maybe about 5 minutes,
Okay,
so
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't do too much cleaning. I won't clean none of the
Uh-huh.
grates, the flow grates here. Maybe after they're done molting, I'll give a good clean.
Okay.
I don't, if I clean now, it's gonna be I gotta clean it again once they all get done molting. But I'll clean once they're all molted out. I'll get a good clean, power wash all the floor grates. It's gonna look brand new again. So
Okay.
maybe twice, three times, in a season,
Okay,
give it a
yeah.
good clean, right?
All right.
So
That's good to
yeah,
know. So these are your trays for feeding right here?
yeah. Those just I flip them over and then I put the feeders on it.
Uh-huh.
So I don't feed the birds on the tray. It's just to catch the feed that will
Yeah,
fall
that
off the
fall off.
feeders. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just flip them over and then I put my feeders on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, you can slide this over.
Yeah. You can slide these.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All these doors slide. So like, so
Yeah.
now if I want all the birds get all this free access to him,
Yeah.
I just slide all these doors out. But the thing is that in the hallway, I don't have that access, right?
Yeah.
Now I got to slide each door. So this was my old setup. So I'm kind of, next year maybe I might change it up so that
Uh-huh.
it's a little bit better. I might do it so that it slides in between these two walls, so
Yeah.
like more like a pocket door.
Uh-huh.
But right now, if all the birds get this whole access now, I just slide all these doors out,
Uh-huh.
and they can go in whichever room they want.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So this right here, is it for the water and
Yeah,
just for water?
yeah, this was when I was club racing. I had water trays I put in here, so they learn how to drink through the dowels, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like a club crate, right? Um, but now with the one lot birds, I just got the water fountains, right?
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna train the one lot birds how to drink out of the crates. The first two times I got them out, I'm just gonna put them in the yard, and I'll bring the water pan and I'll put it next to
Oh, okay.
the crates, so they can learn how to drink. But yeah, this was more of when I had a club race birds.
Okay, so you're not really using this?
No, I might just put like bowls of grits in there.
Yeah.
Get it off the ground. They can go and eat the grits. in there. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
yeah.
So do they have grit every day, access to grit every day, or only when you
Yeah,
feed?
yep. When I feed, like right now, I got all the bowls out, but I gotta clean them. It's dirty, but
Yep.
yeah, I'll have grit in here every 2 days maybe. I'll just put a handful each. I got like 7 bowls, right?
Yep.
So I'll put a handful each bowl. They
Okay.
could pick at whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So some of the young birds right now, whether they know how to eat it or not, but they pick at it. You know how pigeons are; they throw everything
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah.
every 2 or 3 days, I'll just go in there and just put a handful in each bowl and
Okay.
fill it back up. So
Okay. So do you put the grit bowl onto this wooden platform too,
yeah,
so
yep,
they don't spill too much?
yeah,
Okay.
yep. Once they get done eating anything, I flip all these trays over. I just put the grit bowl around box of the trays, and they can just pick out whatever they want.
Can we see some of your products that you use?
Yeah, I can grab it. So it's inside, but I can go grab it.
Okay.
I'll show you what
Yeah.
what the Avia Biotech is.
Yeah.
I'm using their products, and I got some of the other stuff that I still use. I can go. We can
Okay.
go inside, or I can
Okay.
show you too. Yeah, it's been raining, man. It's just
Yeah, I know.
this rain is not letting up. So I mean, right now, this. Well, this is a breeder's mix from
Uh-huh.
Bayers.
Uh-huh.
It's a Galaxy mix. Right now I'm using roughly 50% of that mixed with the Sportlight mix,
Okay.
which is over there. It's a good mix. I like it. It's clean. I've used it for maybe 5 years now.
Okay.
So I use that on my own personal birds, the
Uh,
breeding mix. Um, and then this one over here is the Sportlight mix.
or like okay.
Yep. So you got no peas in there. It's just corn, safflower, sunflower. You got little rape seeds in there, flaxseed, um, white Milo. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's more of a sportier mix.
Yeah, I think I've used this before.
Yeah. So it's real clean. I like it.
Yeah.
And then once the birds are racing going around the loft, they're gonna use maybe 75% of this, and then I'm
Okay.
use like maybe 25% of the Bears. This is Bears too, but this is the Gaddy Vendebo
Oh
mix.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a very light mix. Um, Popcorn, safflower, white Milo,
Yeah.
barley in there. So it's a lighter mix in the
Uh-huh.
Spotlight.
So I know you used to sell the Galaxy. Do you still sell them? The
I mean,
Galaxy.
no, I'm currently not
Yeah.
selling it because I made a mistake earlier in the year. I was selling the Breeders Mix,
Uh-huh.
and by the time I knew it, I was down to like 5 bags,
Oh.
and I had 180 birds here for the one loft, right? So I was
Uh-huh.
running low, so I had to get another pallet of feed in.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna sell it, I had to, you know, prepare for that, and I wasn't. So as of
Okay.
right now, I don't want to do it. I don't want to sell it just because I don't want to round out, and then I can't get it, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
harder to get, you know what I mean?
Okay.
In Minnesota, it's nobody sells it. I got to get it from out of town,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's just harder to get it in, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the grit you're using right there?
Yeah, this is actually the grit I get from Annie from Chicago. You know, it's actually really nice. It's really similar to Jovati
Mm-hmm.
mix. Yeah, it's clean. It's got the round. I like the round pink stones here.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, I see other one-off races using this brand
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it have any pallets in it?
Nope. No pallets. No nothing. No yellow, whatever it is that
Okay.
all at one had. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people were discouraged, but I don't know what that yellow. I think they said there was like egg yolk or something.
Oh yeah.
And,
Because I noticed QS had some like smaller pallets in the same brand. I
oh,
don't know
okay.
if it's the same mix or not, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, this one don't have. You talking
Yeah.
about like a feed
Yeah,
pallet?
yeah, like feed pallet,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. This one doesn't have no feed
Okay,
pallets in it.
okay, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. It's just grit and there's some seeds in there, but
Yeah.
mostly grit.
All right.
The the Bears grit mix is in the pole building. I don't have a container out here if you want.
Okay,
So
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, this is
So
the
this is
Bayer.
the Bears deluxe multi mix grit. So I'll use that for the birds as well too. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So kind of go with,
Mm-hmm.
a mixture, a handful of this and a handful of that one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right here.
this one's mostly, I bought these and these are for my birds. My
Oh,
personal
okay.
birds for like breeding.
Okay, I
Um,
see. And
um,
there's the bigger pellets in here.
yeah, these got the pallets. So that's more
Oh,
for breeding for the breeders, but these gonna be for the race birds, the one-off birds, and then got a whole bunch of grit
oh,
boxes
okay.
there. Um, Same deal. These are the same mix as this one. It's just
Oh,
in a different
okay.
container.
Same
Um,
container. I
yeah,
mean, different container.
yeah. And then in this, I'll have my vaccine.
The PMV.
Uh, yep, the PV vaccine.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they two different ones?
Yeah, these are from Avio Biotech. This stuff is the new. It's a new PMV vaccine. It's a Pakistani strain.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's different from this one. This one's the PMV Rota,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm using this one right now for the one uppers.
Okay.
Yep. Right here, my laptop's not out here, but
Yep.
this is where normally I write down. I do it by hand too because I'm still old school.
Yep.
I write people's names, their bands when they came
Uh-huh.
in, but I got it on the
Yep.
laptop too. And then my laptop's not hooked up right now, but
Yep.
usually I do all the entering the birds here, entering
Registering them. Do you
registering
give their
yep,
shots in here too?
yep, shots, vaccines is all here. Coupling the bands here,
Mm-hmm.
and then
You just move them here for a
yep, over
bit.
here. These birds here were here, 2 days now. They're eating good. They're eating, drinking good.
Okay.
The droppings are good. It's nice and solid. So pretty
Okay.
soon here, I'll move them into the loft.
Well, what do
Yeah.
you do with the boxes? Do you reuse them or you?
Yeah, I'll reuse them. They're still they're still really good boxes. They're clean boxes. So I'll use them back. I do have I bought like two big
Okay.
containers of boxes too. So
Yep.
if the boxes are good, I'll reuse it. Because I do send birds out to like other one-off races
Yep.
too. So yeah, I mean, if it's in good condition, I'll reuse it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna ask you a few questions about starting a one-off race.
Yep. Yep.
How do you get a one-off race started?
Um, well, first you gotta have a big enough area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what you do, whether you're doing 100 birds or 1,000 birds, you want to have a good area that you want to do it. Have a plan. Just don't jump into it and do it. You know, Even though I just kind of jumped into it, but it was kind of like in my mind, in back of my
Yeah.
mind for 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna do it, I have to change this, change that. So there's a lot of thought process that goes through it.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, so it's my first year, right? Obviously, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it yet, but I'm learning as I go. So you got to have a lot of patience, a lot of time, have the room that you want to do, have a good support team too, if you are. Not that you need, a crew, but
Yeah.
whoever wants to help you, just kind of plan things out and get ready for things that you're not prepared for. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So, yeah, it's tough to get ready. What I mean? But definitely have a goal, have an idea of what you want to do and plan it on paper, plan it in your mind, be ready for the unexpected, so.
Okay. What do you need to know to start?
Um,
Like some things you need to know to actually start.
Start, well, I mean, like I say, everything I'm doing it and I'm learning on the fly, learning how to use the benzene program,
Mm-hmm.
even Wind Companion, that stuff I'm learning as I go. There was some stuff that on the club level, Tony knows how to do it, and he showed me, so he's working with me on it. Um, I don't know, there's so many factors
Mm-hmm.
that goes in that you don't think of. Starting it, as far as like the business aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
opening a, like getting a, what is that, a EIN number from the state and all that, right? Because it's a
Yeah.
business now. So
Yeah.
all that little stuff, you have to, get it because eventually, Uncle
Yeah.
Sam's going to get you. So you got to, do that. It's a business, right? So you got
Yeah.
to do all that. It's the financial part of the one loft that nobody really cares about, but you as a one-off manager, that's what you have to do because it's a business, right? So there's little things like that that you have to take care of before you even thinking about, okay, I'm gonna do one loft, right, and jump right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's the other side of the bird part. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Do you think there's any experience that someone should go through to help them?
before they do a
Yeah.
one off,
Yeah.
um,
Like maybe they should experience like some type of sickness or um training like or flying like 100 birds and stuff like that. Yeah.
ideally you want to. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, like if I never club flown pigeons before, or I never had anything to do with pigeons, or seen disease, anything like
Yeah.
sickness, disease, and all that. I don't think I could be able to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might learn it from watching videos on YouTube, go on the internet, and then think that you can do it. But I think for me personally, if I didn't have the experience of club racing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could do it to the level that I want. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Not saying that other people can't do it, because I know there's other one-offs out there. I don't know if they race birds or not. I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
can't speak for them, but for myself, um, having that experience and that knowledge, I think it helped me out. You know what I mean? Because I
Okay.
don't want to do nothing. Because nobody wants to fail, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you set a goal, you want to do something, you want to be good at it,
Mm-hmm.
or you are already good at it, and you just want to show your passion, your talent, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for me, having the experience of doing the club racing, just seeing, going to one lot races and see how they do things,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
that helped me out. You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
yep,
That's good. So club experience.
yeah.
Um, so what are some things you need to start your one-off race?
Ooh, man. Besides the loft,
Yeah.
you gotta have, you know, nobody talks about it, but you gotta have a little money,
A little
right?
money.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any business you do, right?
Yep.
It's gonna cost you something.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a little bit of money. You can't do it from with nothing, right? You
Yeah.
got you got to start with something.
Yep.
Um, you gotta be, you have to be prepared for everything. Even the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Getting the feed in, because you're not getting, 200-300 pounds.
Yeah.
You're getting thousands of pounds of feed in, depending what your goal is, right? So,
Yep.
all these little things, and then it goes back to having that financial backup, right? So you got
Mm-hmm.
to have the money to start. So there's so many things that you need that nobody thinks about
Mm-hmm.
until you're like, oh man, I need this, I need that, right? Even vaccines, it's like when the
Yep.
time it's like, oh, it's not buying one bottle now. I gotta get 10 bottles of it,
Yeah.
So everything you're doing, you're buying at a bulk, right? You're
Okay.
buying more of this, buying more of that. So, you gotta have that and be ready for that.
Okay.
You know.
That's good to know. What's your thought on growing a one-off race?
About growing it,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I'll find out after this year,
Find
right?
out.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I mean, our goal was to have 200 birds, right? Because I think locally there's so many young kids,
Mm-hmm.
young guys. I shouldn't say kids, but guys that have birds, backyard guys,
Yeah.
that raise pigeons, good pigeons, and you know, the growing part is gonna come through time.
Yep.
I think if you run anything good, whether it's a one loft or a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
or a product, right? It's all word of mouth. It's all like, hey, have you tried this, or have you heard of this? So, the growing part is, it's our job here at Minnesota Classic to run a fair race,
Mm-hmm.
um, be as transparent as possible, be as fair as possible, and the clients will just speak for us.
Okay.
So, just trying to do a good job, and run a good series for all the breeders. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yep.
So it's kind of like when you ran your restaurant.
Yeah, it's just if they like your food, they'll be
Yeah.
back, right? I don't have to go out there and say, hey, come
Yeah.
eat here, right? So they come in there, they try it once, it's good, they get a friend, hey, let's go. That friend grabs another friend. Before you know it, it's people like it, they
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it, and it's all about making your clientele, making them happy, right?
Yep.
So I get it. There's gonna be some, not everybody likes to eat the same stuff, and they
Yep.
got different tastes in their mouth, right? It's okay, but
Mm-hmm.
as long as you can get the majority to say, hey, it's a good service, that whatever you're doing, you're providing, and they come back, then that's a good thing. So
Okay. That's
yeah.
good. What are some challenges that you might be facing right now running a one-off race?
Uh, right now for me,
Hmm.
it's just weather.
The weather.
Yeah, the weather.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we all like to have the best weather, the best conditions to do what you want,
Hmm.
but I think on a day-to-day basis here so far, just dealing with the weather, I mean, we're fortunate to have a good winter.
Yeah.
Um, because I tell you, when birds will come in that early part of end part of February, early March there,
Yeah.
any other year that net won't be up, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm fortunate that I was able to do that
Hmm.
this year. Next year might be different.
Yeah.
The challenge here that we have, in Minnesota here is, we can get snow right now. We
Yeah.
don't know, right? It's just the weather,
Okay.
so, and that kind of plays a lot with, especially with young birds,
Hmm.
they look good one day. It's nice and sunny. I mean, today, they get out in the rain, they feel damp. They look dumpy. You're thinking they're sick, but, it's the weather. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Even my breeders are looking like that, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I think weather is a real tough challenge here. So far that I've got, I'm, knock on wood, but I haven't had, sick birds yet.
Hmm.
I had one, that got thin, and I contacted the breeder right away. He gave me a replacement. So it was, I'd rather do that,
Yeah.
notify you as a breeder, like, hey, because if I was to enter one loft, I'd rather have them call me too, like, hey,
Yeah.
your bird's not feeling good. Oh, appreciate it. I'll send you another one, So,
Hmm.
right now, I haven't run into like any big problems or issues yet that, I can't resolve yet. So I
Okay.
can't say. Ask me at the end of the year, and I'll
Yeah.
probably have 100 for you. You know what
We
I mean?
do a update again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably have 100 problems that I ran into. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
So what do you enjoy so far running this one-off race?
um, I enjoy meeting a lot of new people,
Hmm.
even in Minnesota that I never, that I didn't know had birds,
Yeah.
right? So I meet a lot of new people. That's a good thing. And that's how, what pigeon is, like when I was club racing, I didn't really, do one loft and I didn't travel,
Hmm.
but,
Yeah.
Tony had took him like me and Blong and we went down to Omaha and, that was probably, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. I can't recall, but,
Hmm.
I got to meet, the guys in Omaha, the Carters, Greg and Dwayne and the whole crew down there. And before you know it, you become good friends. You can talk. And then I go to other one law races and I see them there.
Hmm.
It's kind of like, you know them now. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the real good thing about pigeons, right?
Yeah.
And, but
Meeting new people,
yeah, meeting new
creating
people.
friendships and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and besides racing pigeons, it's just what I'd love to do. It's
Yeah.
my passion, right?
Hmm.
I've done it. I haven't done it as long as a lot of people, but as a kid, I always had birds in my backyard,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay. What is your goal in running your one-off race?
Man, my goal is, for me, obviously, I want people to say I run a good fair race.
Hmm.
I do want it to grow. I know it's going to take time,
Yeah.
but my goal is to have, one of the best, right? I mean, you do something because you want to
Yeah.
be the best, right? You
Yeah.
don't play basketball just to be the average guy, right? So
Hmm.
obviously, yeah, of course you want to be, that's your end goal, have a good race, have a good series. Like I said, if the breeders are happy about it, I've done my job as that was my goal, right?
Hmm.
To give you a service that I can make you happy and
Hmm.
it'll satisfy me like, okay, I could do what I set myself to do, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the end goal is to have one of the biggest in Minnesota, right? That's
Okay.
that's the end goal for me. It's just I'm not gonna try to compete with the Derbies and the
Hmm.
Hoosiers. It's yeah, sky's the limit. But my goal is to just have a good race here in Minnesota and just show the rest of the country that hey, we all up north guys are we can do it
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and especially since we don't really have one-off race here anymore. There used to be some here, but I
yeah,
think there's
yeah.
only like one here now
Yeah, I
up
think
north.
Gary Meese, the
Yeah.
Northern Lights, he's
Yeah.
still running his up here.
Yeah. So
So
it was a good thing that you opened this up and
yeah,
it's kind of in the city
right.
too.
And
Yeah.
I don't know about other states, but I think here in Minnesota, like I said, the youth group here is still into it, right?
Yeah.
So if I can keep those backyard guys to kind of still have pigeons and participate in the pigeon sport, right? Rather
Hmm.
because they can't club race because of the time, the young families are not, but for one log, it gives them that opportunity to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they can still come out and have a good time and
Yeah.
hopefully win some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Any advice for someone looking to start a one-off race?
Oh man, I think just be ready. Like
Be ready.
yeah, it's a challenge. It's that's why I give credit to all the one loss races that's been doing it for years and years, right?
Hmm.
And are successful because behind the scene, it's you guys just see the
Yeah.
birds flying around the lot, birds return from the races, maybe even the good parties that they're having. But I think behind the scenes, I'm not to that point, but just a little, just a short time that I'm doing this,
Hmm.
it's a lot of work, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's something that it's not that we don't, want to show you. It's just, hey, we took that upon ourselves to
Yeah.
do the one off. So it's a lot of work if you're gonna do it. Um, just don't do it to say, oh, I can. It's easy and all that.
Hmm.
It takes time. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of determination to do it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have any future plans for your one-off race?
Um, you know, I mean, as of now, like I'm comfortable with the numbers I'm doing. I don't want to, shoot myself in the foot and say, yeah, next year I want to have 1,000 birds. And
Hmm.
no, I want to be comfortable with the numbers I'm handling. Make sure what I'm doing.
Hmm.
And be really precise on things and get it down right.
Hmm.
And then obviously, yeah, I do want to get big and grow and maybe put up a new and better loft that
Okay.
suits my needs here.
Hmm. Okay.
With what I got now, I think it's it can do what I want,
Yeah.
but if it gets bigger, then my goal is to just build a new facility and make it a nice one and hold up
Okay.
more birds. So that's the future anyway. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good plan. Thank you for today.
Yeah, it's no problem, man. Yeah, it's it's always good that you guys come and visit. I always tell the breeders they send birds up here and they want to come visit, just give me a call. I'm here
Hmm.
24/7. It's my job now and
Yeah.
I'm here all day, what I mean? So and I spend all day with the birds and if they want to ask something, just give me a call.
All right.
I'll answer your questions. So
Okay. Thank you.
yep.